As a PBLer, you've found the joy and the empowerment that comes from moving to the side. You're not the dispenser of knowledge anymore. You're this coach, this guide, this mentor, taking learners down this learning path, this active learning path. But what about for you? Are you still going to PD that is just sit and get? Have you found a coach? I'm super passionate about coaching. I do coaching with business leaders and teachers and principals. I'm also in a mastermind that has leaders in there, and I lead one as well. So I'm being coached and I'm coaching. I just love the process. So we have a full video on coaching and the importance of that for you as a teacher, as a PBLer. What if you already have an instructional coach in your building though? You have this built-in coach. How do you utilize your instructional coach? My name is Ryan Stoyer. Welcome to PBL Simplified for Teachers, where we break down your PBL need-to-knows so we can simplify the PBL process for your classroom. So how do you best utilize an instructional coach that's in your building or your district? Well, if they're well-versed in PBL, congratulations, you've just hit the jackpot. Jump in right away, like here in about 3 minutes when this video is over, stop, send them an email or call them and say, hey, come into my classroom right away. I'd love your feedback. Don't make the mistake of trying to get it all figured out before you invite somebody in. It's when you invite somebody in, that's how you figure it out. So if you have an instructional coach in your school or district that gets PBL, bring them in right away. Have them help you with an entry event or have them run a workshop. If you're a PBLer, you know that multiplying your time to differentiate these workshops is a really important piece. And as you bring people in, you can actually do that. So that's a jackpot scenario. What if you have an instructional coach in your school or district that doesn't really know that much about PBL? You still have a great resource here. Again, you can have them come in and just run an isolated workshop. Maybe something around how do you research a topic well, right? How do you use the internet and find good sources? Maybe you have some kind of collaboration workshop that you like to run. Have them run that while you're running another workshop. Right? So you can multiply your time within a PBL unit to utilize that way. You see, instructional coaches are typically teachers that were in the classroom and now they're not. Well, guess what? They usually end up doing like all the standardized test prep and all the jobs that nobody else really wants. So when you invite them into a classroom, they're like, yes, please. I would love to go interact with the kids. So utilize them to multiply your time, but also bring in their expertise. What is it that they're really good at? Like maybe they have a literacy background or a math background. Like utilize those things to bring that expertise into your classrooms to, again, multiply those pieces. It might be something you don't have time to bring into a PBL unit. So let me give you a great example. Reach out to your instructional coach and say, hey, I could use some help with grouping. Here's a group contract. In fact, here's just a link to Magnify Learning site. I'll put it in the description. Would you find one of these group contracts, one that would work great for our classroom, and then come teach it to my learners? I think it would work really well for the rest of the building too. So let's try to figure it out in my classroom, and then you can take it to other classrooms. Did you see that quarter twist right there? That's a win-win scenario. You can have the instructional coach come in and help your groupings go better, which is always a plus, and you're helping them to create a lesson plan they can use in the rest of the school, which is a plus for them. Right, so find a win-win scenario and start to utilize some of those resources that are already in your district. You might also have them come in to just give you some reflective feedback. Hey, here's my entry event. How do you think I could engage the learners more? Or here's some workshops I've set up. What do you think? Do you have any resources for this? That's why they're there, and they really do want to jump in. So you might have to give it a time or two because they've got a lot of other responsibilities, but once you get in there and they notice that you really want them in there, you can get a lot of attention from them and it can really help your learners. And if your instructional coach is interested in becoming a PBL expert, you can send them to an open workshop over the summer with Magnify Learning, and we'll get them up to speed. In fact, the PBL unit they could create would actually be the PD that they'd be giving your school or district. So again, it's another win-win for them, is how can they create this engaging PD for your school or your district throughout the year, so they leave with that product that totally helps them too, and comes back to help your learners as well on your PBL journey. Man, it's exciting. So we're always looking for those extra resources, and it might be an instructional coach that you already have in your building or district that can add that additional flavor to your PBL classroom. And as you do that, you'll engage your learners, tackle boredom, and transform your classroom.